freue mich nun auf meinen ersten Gast und ich stelle ihn kurz vor. Now it's a pleasure to meet my first speaker here, Beat Bachmann. Beat Bachmann holds a Master of Arts in Finance from the Universität of St. Gallen HSG. Before leading the Zug Economic Promotion office, we worked in management positions in national and international companies and market for over 20 years. He has experience in business development, key account management, finance and projects, management in life science, consumer goods, real estate and ICT industries. Beat, ja, lass uns einsteigen, Beat, bevor wir jetzt ins Deutsche noch mal gehen. Wir werden die Fragen in Deutsch und in Englisch bzw. Englisch und Deutsch stellen. Du wirst deinen Vortrag in Englisch halten. Und wie gesagt, wir werden es dann im Nachhinein mit Untertitel und übersetzen. Beat, herzlich willkommen. Vielen Dank, dass du ins Studio gekommen bist, trotz dieser Krise. Vielen lieben Dank.
Danke.
Bitte, wir starten.
Deine Frage 1.
Beat, my first question is, how long have you been the head of Business Contact Point and what is your exact job here? Kurze deutsche Übersetzung. Wie lange bist du bereits in der Leiter Kontaktstelle Wirtschaft und was ist deine genaue Aufgabe? Bitte.
Yeah, first of all, thanks a lot, Tino, for inviting me. It's great to be here today and to be part of this Crypto Valley Festival. I've been now almost 8 years heading the economic development of Canton Zug and helping to even further develop this canton and the successful story. So actually, I have 2 jobs with my team. The most important job is to every day make our companies happy, be a service station, and make sure that there's no other place on earth where they feel better supported. So it's a service to the locally residing companies and doing business. Secondly, we're obviously helping to support new cluster developments, and we will get later to that as an example how Crypto Valley became to existence. And thirdly, obviously, we want to make sure that Canton Zug always develops itself, so we want to foster the pipeline, support new companies coming to Zug, and make sure that Zug is constantly developing itself.
Okay. Thank you. It's very interesting. And now we go to the next question. What is the reason why so many different companies have been setting in Canton Zug for so many years, and how many are there currently?
So the success story of Canton Zug spans back around 60 years. Canton Zug was the first canton in Switzerland adopting this federally provided low-tax regime. And it was a success story that first attracted many international companies because of these taxes in the late 50s, 60s last century. In the last 60 years, Canton Zug has more than doubled its population, has more than 5 times more jobs created, and has more than 15 times more companies. We believe that's a result of our compelling value proposition because we always behaved like a startup. We always wanted to be most innovative. We always wanted to be risk-taking and always be open for new technologies and new companies. Most of all, we are treating everybody the same. We have the same tax law. We have the same service levels for any type of company. So if you're a startup or if you're a global corporate, no matter, we are here for everybody, and we do not treat big companies differently than small companies. So for example, it's our philosophy since decades to have no industry policy. That means we want to be open for everybody. That means we do not give tax holidays, incentives to individual companies, because our package and our net conditions are here for everybody. And that has proven very successful because we believe in a really economically puristic liberal way that the government should not determine or should not think government knows best what is good for the economy. That's kind of, I think, in a summary, our reason for success. And I think our value proposition really includes, obviously, the best financial conditions internationally, highly attractive talents, clusters, stability, political, financial stability, self-funded. And last but not least, what we always experience, people tell us, it's a fantastic international environment. You find rarely on the world. 130 nationalities here in Canton Zug, multicultural environment with an absolutely high quality of life. So, and this I think we have developed over 60 years, and you cannot just copy or just redo, by starting from scratch in a few years.
Mm-hmm. Okay, thank you so much, and I agree with everything what you tell us or what you told us at the moment, because I comes as a entrepreneur to Zug, and I find a really good contact and a good support from your office and from yourself. Thank you for that. And the infrastructure and the possibilities what we have as an entrepreneurship is a really tough fundament where we can start up again or a new business, or we can take this network, or we can go in this network. Really, really fine. Thank you. In the recent years, especially startups and companies from the digital sector have settled here, and the topic of blockchain in certainly a future-orientated industry mean for the canton and Switzerland in general.
Yeah, this is indeed also for me almost a role model, a best practice case where, looking back now the last 6 years, none of us, I think, would have ever believed that something like this is possible. And it started all in 2013, 2014, when people around Ethereum came to Zug. There was already Bitcoin Swiss. These days, nobody knew Bitcoin Swiss. Niklas with 2 people. Now it's one of the leading crypto banks and Bitcoin trading companies. So when Ethereum around Vitalik, Mihai Alisi, Joe Lubin came, Herbert Sterky helped, bring them to us. You see him later also. I mean, this was just the beginning where, new startup, passionate, visionaries came. Now, the question often was to us, how much did you pay these guys? And the answer is not one single franc. So again here, they came because they looked at Switzerland and said, look, we want a place that is internationally democratic because, decentralized thinking, democracy, that is known for open regulation, for open, business friendliness and so on, by federal, FINMA, financial regulation, by the canton, by the city and so on. And it just was a great match. And looking back, I think not in every canton or in every place in the world, government would have been so open. And this is really a big thank to our ministers. I mean, can you imagine 2012, 13, we went to them and said, look, there's some people here, they talk about Bitcoin and things, I mean, I know lots of governments, in other locations, they would have said, hands off, don't come with them. So, it is risk-taking, it is support, at every level. And, how it went and about, we just basically behaved as, in any other situation. When other startups come, we want to help them. We connected them to the regulators, We made sure that from the local, ecosystem to the federal, everybody is connected and tries to find solutions. It was not just us, we were just a catalyst behind. Our thanks here, looking back, I mean, they go to all these players in this ecosystem. I mentioned a few. There was very early on the platform Crypto Valley Venture Capital today. At that time, it was called Lakeside Partners, the largest blockchain investor. You all know their global crypto report. They did a fantastic job still today to really drive this ecosystem. The Crypto Valley Association, Bitcoin Swiss I mentioned. All these partners, we need it, and this is our strategy and our way to work together and not do it as a government. So with them together, our canton, our city, example when they in 2016, 17 they started accepting Bitcoin as payment. This was a global marketing hype at that time. It was just everybody being very innovative, very inspiring, and very supportive. And it was not also easy. We had big cases of companies settling. They wanted to start working. They were not finding the best environment or what they expected from the regulators. Again, here, all of us in the Zug ecosystem, work together with the federal authorities to really make sure what we have now. Just recently, a couple months ago, when the federal government, the parliament, passed the blockchain law, let's say the adjustment to the actual regulation, enabling, with the Swiss Block Federation, enabling basically this really environment to work. So this is kind of like a great collaboration of a network, of an ecosystem. And, at the end saying, Crypto Valley, it was never called Crypto Valley Zug. It started in our little canton, and we're very proud. We never had the ambition to keep it, in our Zug area. We know, that Zug is too small to have a globally leading role ongoingly, because we're just too small. So, we all had this basically mindset of, be the birthplace, be proud that we can support to have something, exist and start, but be open to work internationally. And this is what we see now. Obviously, Crypto Valley Association, CVVC, all these players, you guys here with the Crypto Festival, you help to spread the word. You help to basically, make sure that, this technology and this new business cases and so on, the new economy, the token-based economy, is basically, expanded and adopted.
Okay, thank you. Yeah. So next, what advice or hints do you want to give to companies, startups, investors, if they want to establish a company here, or KMU? The English word is...
It's very simple. I would say contact us. If you don't have already connects into the ecosystem, wherever, in what industry you are, there's a lot of already existing networks, ecosystems. If you don't have to contact, call us, contact us. We help you, find the best ways, find the best people, and then we see what you need. Tell us what you need, and we try to help you. We cannot solve every problem, we cannot provide every service, but we can do the best to get you served by, us or anybody else. I think it's important to say, that you also are in a better position if you have a good case. And I remember 4 or 5 years ago, the first hype of crypto, ICOs and so on. Just having a nice white paper is not basically a business plan. So still, like decades ago, the same truth is that basically you need a compelling story, you need a compelling business idea, and you need a realistic way looking at the future implementation. So come to us, we help you connect and work together.
Thank you, but you have a chart there from the history, what's happened there. You want to talk about that? About
no,
this
that's
chart?
fine.
It's fine, okay. In your opinion, what is the importance of cooperation between company networks, and how does the canton of Zug supported this with sustainability?
That's a very good question. I mentioned, our strategic approach to basically make sure that companies are not just working on their own and benefiting in a location, sondern they work together, they network. It's the big cluster, topic. And I think Canton Zug, without specifically, purposely having done that, like 50 years ago, today, or at least since 10 years, we know that, one of the most attractive factors are clusters. So let me take this example. You will, as a next guest, hear René Hüsler, the Dean of our IT department. This is one of the best examples, I think, in the last 10 years, where the canton of Zug strongly, pushed to have an IT university. So, as part of the Swiss central cantons, there was a competition. There was a decision that an IT university would be set up, a new one. Zug won that competition because we we could prove that, Zug is the best place, having all the IT industry companies already, having this new, fintech, blockchain, and so on, and having also the potential, for students between Zurich and Lucerne. And basically, what René and the Canton here together set up in the last 5 years is a fantastic story. A new university helping to drive this whole industries of ICT, blockchain, digitalization, new tech, AI, and so on. And we cannot compare ourselves to an ETH because it's not a federal university. We have totally different funding situation, etc. But I think what we have done here, we could say it's a little small ETH that is really driving a cluster. And that's an example of our spirit of Zug. We want to really make sure the companies in a certain cluster have everything where they can develop, where they can connect, and the collaboration between the companies, between the university and the companies, between networks. We, for example, have a technology forum in Canton Zug with 140 companies connecting. So these are networks that we want to make sure the companies follow, and that goes as far as we help co-organize events. We help make sure that the companies that are here engage in these events, engage in this platform. So we call them up and say, you should be basically part of the technology forum. You should, talk to René Hüsler about cooperation with university. So it's an active networking, which we find company extremely enjoy, and that together helps, drive new, basically, developments.
Okay. Yeah, thank you. It's really important because I think networks are much more powerful as money alone. Because you see, our event is created with companies, big companies, and universities together, and I think this network will be the future. And so we will start this festival then next year, if it's possible offline, that we have a really big place where we can meet us together, where the empathy can flow. Because now we are in this space, in this area online. This is fine, this is a good thing, but it's not easy to handle that, to bring out all the information and all the stuff what you need. I want to give you a really special book from a famous guy here from Switzerland. It's Dr. Daniele Ganser. He talks and he writes really good books, and I think it will be some information about the history from USA and the Imperium USA, and I want to give that as a present. Thank you that you are here, that you thank for coming and for your big, great support. It's really wonderful. And but we have a lot of, we have some minutes, and we can talk 3 minutes more if you want. I want to go from a respect, because we are in a German area, kurz in Deutsches übergehen. Danke. Ich fühle mich derweil wohler in Deutsch. Ich muss noch mal auch sagen, diese Unterstützung vom Netzwerk Zug und besonders auch in deiner Person, in deiner Persönlichkeit, du arbeitest ja hier mehr als Entrepreneur, als Unternehmer im Sinne und nicht, wie man es gewohnt ist, vielleicht von uns in Deutschland sehr eingeschränkt als Beamter, sage ich jetzt mal, sondern in einer ganz anderen Funktion. Und du supportest tatsächlich, so wie du es eben auch gerade in den Fragen, die ich gestellt habe, beantwortet hast, und verbindest diese ganzen Geschichten, ohne dass deine Hilfe jetzt hier in Anspruch bzw. deine Förderung hier gekommen wäre. Auch das Kanton Zug, was wir einblenden dürften als Unterstützung, was sehr, sehr hilfreich natürlich war von der Anerkennung her der ganzen Firmen. Ich habe den Mailing gemacht. Das fand ich alles sehr großartig und ich muss da nochmal Danke sagen. Aber ich muss natürlich auch unseren anderen Menschen hier Danke sagen, die im Hintergrund standen. Da gab es den großartigen Support vom Herbert Steichi, den noch größeren Support auch von Appian als unseren Hauptsponsor, den ich nachher natürlich noch erwähnen will. Ich denke, du hast durchaus die Dinge auf den Punkt gebracht, warum die Schweiz bzw. speziell Zug schon längst aus dieser Ecke von wegen Briefkästen raus ist. Und ich glaube, wir beide werden in Zukunft, das wünsche ich mir zumindest, noch viel zusammen bewältigen und bearbeiten, was das angeht. Und wir sehen ja auch jetzt die Firmen, die jetzt bei uns dabei sind. War auch dein Wunsch, dass das Firmen speziell auch aus dem Kanton sind. Haben wir ja alle gut versammelt hier. Hast du einen Wunsch an die Firmen, sage ich mal, nicht nur an uns, sondern generell, was du du dir wünschst, was wir für euch, für das Kanton noch besser tun können?
Nein, wir sind sehr glücklich und wir sagen immer, kommt zu uns. Wir sind immer glücklich, wenn wir neue Firmen kennenlernen, wenn sich niemand versteckt. Das heißt, das ist unser Anspruch, mit allen in Kontakt zu sein. Nur dann können wir eben auch vernetzen. Vielleicht möchte ich noch einen Punkt, den ich vergessen habe, erwähnen. In Englisch würde ich das gerne machen. I forgot one important point. You know, when we talk about the success of Zug as a business location, I want to mention that, you know, if we had not been always a part of that internationally highly successful Greater Zurich area, you know, it would not have been possible. So obviously, you know, it's clear that, you know, Canton Zug with 130,000 inhabitants and almost as many jobs, we are really benefiting from being basically a part, you know, half an hour from Zurich City, you know, enjoying, you know, this R&D and innovation hub around the big universities, you know, this accessibility with the airport, with the and all these institutions. So this is, you know, a positioning that also for the companies who are here benefit, because, you know, you are not just bound, you know, to the territory of Canton Zug. And we have since many years, you know, started always to think regional. We want to collaborate. That's why we also cooperate in this institution called Greater Zurich area. There's also an institutional political organization that's called Metropolitan Area of Zurich, and all these cantons around, you know, Zurich help together. We want to be the best. And when you look at rankings internationally, you know, we kind of rank like after Boston area, Silicon Valley Bay area, you know, almost, you know, in the top rank. So that's our recipe. And again, thanks a lot for inviting me.
You're very welcome.
Welcome to the Crypto Valley. And from that point of view, if there's any other questions. Oh, you had the question from the chat. How many companies are in Zug and how many are domiciled companies? You know, today we have about 34,000 companies, and the number, if you only look at domiciled companies which have no operational, you know, function here, this is about today about 2,000 to 3,000 left. This was obviously much higher in the past. It was like a business model. It's not something illegal. It's a different type of company. You know, when you have a tax domicile without having operations. But in these days of the new tax situation, where Switzerland also adopted the new tax reform, which is internationally accepted, which is one of the first, you know, that is totally internationally accepted by OECD, EU, and so on. You know, this model of domicile companies, letterbox companies, is running out, and it's not anymore a relevant point for Zug.
Okay, thank you.
Any other
Thank
questions
you so much.
from the chat?
I don't think so. I can't find some. No, it was an important thing.
Then thank you so much, and we're happy to hear from you.
Thank you too, and we go on the next step. I wish you a really nice day. It's a pleasure that we work together. Thank you for that.
Thank you.
And we will see what's happening in the future.
Thank you.
Thank you.